Hi Glamour, I'm Alana. I'm 27 years old and I make $100K a year in Santa Monica, California as an investor in venture capital. I have about $460K in savings that's broken up between stock market investments, investments in startups, crypto, and cash in a savings account. I would say I've always been a saver. Ever since college, I did different internships that I'd always save my money on the side. And then after college, I really just spent all my time saving money. After taxes, my take home is $5,387 a month. $1,850 goes to my share of the rent. $60 goes to monthly subscriptions. $64 to Wi-Fi. Since I cover the Wi-Fi, my boyfriend covers the utilities. That leaves around $3,400 a month to spend. I have no credit card debt and no student loans. I think the most important part about all this savings is the stability behind it and being financially free. Ever since I was a child, I've always been an entrepreneur at heart. I remember I used to do different arts and crafts at home, and then I'd take a table and go try to sell it to my friends and family. And I always wanted that money, and I think it is because my parents looked at this money as it's so important to have it. And for me, I think it's just important to always have it in the bank. You never know when things could go south. And also, then I could use that money to continue to invest and do the things I love. And I invest in different startups and different entrepreneurs. And I think by having that money, I'm able to continue to invest in them and hopefully watch their dreams come true. For me, the best way to actually spend my money is on travel and different activities. So I've been using a credit card instead of a debit card because I'm actually able to use those points on travel. My card specifically is a United Mile Plus and also my Fidelity. And these allow me to use those on booking airfare, booking hotels. It's a great way for me to actually save money and spend money. My most expensive purchases this month include the W Hotel for $717.17. This was a work trip that I took and stayed at the W, so eventually it was reimbursed. Next is Up for $312. This was a hair appointment. I get a full set of highlights every 6 months. This is service and tip included. So I've actually thought about it before. I think I spend a little bit too much money on hair. I'm trying to find somewhere that's a little bit cheaper. But for me, I try to put all my money into savings and save as much as possible. So although I like to get my hair done, I could probably get it done more often than every 6 months. But I like to save that money. And for me, it's just not worth it. The next was Sidell's for $2,285.58. This was for a Women in Web3 brunch. We had about 25 to 30 women. It was sponsored by another company in the Web3 space. And really, we just all sit around. People talk about what they do, how they got to where they are. And one of my favorite things to do during these girls' table events is to go around and everybody say what they could give to everybody at the table and then what they want to receive from everybody at the table. So hopefully you leave the different brunches and different dinners meeting somebody new and actually meeting somebody who could help you. The next expense is the Moxie Chelsea Marriott for $250.01. This was also for a work trip that was reimbursed. The next expense was Alaska Airlines for $306.95. This was a trip for a bachelorette. I'm the maid of honor in my childhood's best friend wedding later this year. In total, by the time the wedding is over, I would have spent about $1,200, including the dress and various events. Other purchases include Creation Organic Hay for $4.50, Dwayne Reed for $1.84, Aiden Gold for $5, CVS for $1.73 and $1.49. I'm pretty sure that's for Gump because I'm a chain chewer. The next is No Fire Method for $16, Press Juicery for $10, WeHo Street Meters for $4, Vons for $21.32, Breadlock for $6.07, and TJ Maxx for $49.59. My most frequent purchases are from Trader Joe's and grabbing coffee. I buy my staples, which are things like chickpeas, frozen fish, kale, tomatoes, and balsamic vinegar. I really get the same thing every time. I have a lot of allergies, so I cook almost every meal. I've thought about doing the different meal services, but I feel like they're a little too expensive and also include a lot of additional ingredients. So I'm just gonna continue to cook at home. I do go for coffee pretty much every day. I usually work about 8 to 12 hours a day. So for me, it's really important to get out and walk every day. So I usually walk about 5 to 7 miles every day. This month was pretty unusual for me overall because of all the things I had going on with work travel and my transactions for the wedding. I went on a trip and bought a lot of clothes in preparation. What didn't work, I returned. So I have a lot of refund transactions on this statement. I usually am not that much of a shopper. This month has been the most that I've shopped because of the events and traveling I did. So if you ever see me, I work at home every day. So I'm always in a sweatshirt and yoga pants. And so for me, it's just not worth it to go spend the money on clothes to go out in, because I feel like I'm only going out sometimes on the weekends and I could just wear what I have. If I am going to shop, I shop for secondhand clothing. There's a Crossroads Trading right by my house. So really that's the only way. Unless there's a really important event that I need something nice and new, I'll usually shop online. But I hate spending time at the mall and really just hate shopping. The last expense I have is Airwest for Arielle yoga for $99. I lived in Australia for about a year and I do it all the time. And I just think it's something fun and different to do. I do Pilates almost every day, or I'd say about 5 to 6 times a week. There's a reformer Pilates right by my house. I pay $185 a month to go unlimited amount of times. But I really love it, gets me out of the house, and I think it's really important to work out and feel good. So I think for now, I'll stick with the Pilates, and if I ever want to stretch out and do yoga and be more mindful, then I'll go every once in a while. So my dad always prided himself around saving money and not spending money, and I feel like he'd overthink everything. We'd go to a restaurant, he'd be like, oh, that's too expensive. He'd shop at Costco, Kirkland, and he'd be spending too much money. And so I was grown up that way. And whenever I go out to eat, whenever I go out with friends and buy a $20 drink, I always overthink it and think that I could have spent that money to save. And so for me, I'm trying to unlearn that, because I think it's important to also actually enjoy the money that you worked so hard spending. So I try to go out a little bit and not think about how much I'm spending, or I did decide to go shopping and buy some clothes. But I think you just have to find out how much you want to save each month, how much you want to spend, and then really just start something that works for you. But I keep telling myself that if I have more money in the bank, I'll spend more, but it's just not important to me, the different things. It's not important for me to go shopping and spend my money on luxury. For me, I actually enjoy investing, and I enjoy different activities and travel. I'm still my dad's daughter, and I think I still see money as a way where I want enough in the bank and I want to be able to save, but I do think I will continue to spend it on travel and actually invest a lot more.